I don't think you could have possibly missed seeing the frightening and Halloween-like speech that President Biden gave in Philadelphia on September the 1st. But in case you did miss it, I've got a clip for you.
Get off my lawn. Did you hear me? I said get off my lawn now.
Yeah, you see, I'm calling Joe Biden's speech the get off my lawn speech, because that's what it felt like, didn't it? But the worst of it was not the utterly creepy, blood-red, dark, Nazi-like background, or even the strange presence of two Marines at full attention in the background. And by the way, for them to stand still that entire time is deserving of a medal. I mean, the background was absolutely the worst ever for a presidential speech, but it was what Biden said that made it utterly stunning in its dishonesty, hyperbole, and hate-filled, raging partisan bile. I mean, he called half of America fascist, unpatriotic extremists who are the enemies of democracy, all because we didn't vote for him. Folks, that speech made me real proud I didn't vote for that angry old geezer. I mean, come on. I mean, if you watch the speech, he needed his wife to walk him to the podium so he didn't get lost or wander off looking for ice cream. It was just so surreal. A speech like that would normally result in him being captured by the men in white coats and taken in for evaluation. But a lot of Americans missed it because even the Biden buddy major networks wouldn't air it. And the loons on the left who run CNN and MSNBC, they pretended that it was wonderful. Because after all, it did blame Donald Trump for pretty much everything. You know, everything from wildfires in the West to fully vaccinated and boosted Jill Biden getting COVID twice in 2 weeks. It was all Donald Trump's fault, every bit of it. Joe Biden's weird speech was darker than a Batman movie when the projector lamp burned out. That's how dark it was. But there were more head-turning reasons to be shocked by what was really the most bizarre speech ever given by a U.S. president in my lifetime. And folks, I've heard speeches all the way back to Eisenhower as he yelled into the teleprompter like a rabid dog howling at the moon. He said some stuff that made the crazy uncle in the attic seem about as normal as Norman Bates providing room service for Janet Leigh at the Bates Motel. A handful of people know what I'm talking about. The rest pretend, oh, I never saw that. No, I mean, I was wondering, was he auditioning for the sequel to the movie Scream? He blamed Trump voters, or as he called the 74 million Americans, who, by the way, are prouder than ever they didn't vote for the angry old curmudgeon. He called us all Maga Republicans. I'd say, yep, guilty as charged. Because most of us, well, we really do want to make America great again. And you know why? Unapologetically, we like energy independence and gasoline under $2 a gallon. We like groceries that we can afford without having to sell a kidney to pay for bacon. We actually like a secure border instead of the disaster that we have under the current president, where 2 million people have already illegally crossed the border this year alone. And it's often to traffic little girls as young as 6 or 7 years old who are sold into sex slavery and raped as often as 40 times a day, or maybe who bring in thousands of pounds of fentanyl that kill over 100,000 American kids every single year in all 50 states. And this is from the finest homes to the ghetto. It's yet another Chinese communist poison allowed into our country. So yeah, we MAGA Republicans like that in the 4 MAGA years, there were no new wars started. We didn't leave $75 billion worth of military hardware for the Taliban. And we didn't abandon hundreds, if not thousands, of Americans in a godforsaken country that we bugged out of in such a haphazard, botched way that it resulted in the deaths of 13 servicemen and women who did their duty to the death. We like their courage. So, yes, we think America is greater when we value every human life as having intrinsic value and worth, and we're repulsed by having babies torn to shreds in their mother's womb, all in the name of health care. We believe in real free speech, and not just the kind where the only voices that are allowed are the radical voices from the left that want to cancel those who disagree. We believe in American manufacturing, a military focused on a fearsome strength rather than having quotas and touting its tolerance for deviant lifestyles instead of its ability to stage and win a war. And we believe parents We actually believe parents have every right to know what their children are taught in school. We think speaking up at a school board meeting is not domestic terrorism, it's called citizenship. And we believe that teaching 4- and 5-year-old kids about sex at school is nonsense. So MAGA Republicans believe that it's child abuse to surgically alter 14-year-old kids to change their God-given gender or give them drugs that irreversibly and chemically castrate them. But yet we won't allow those same kids to bring a Bible to school or to pray. You see, one thing Joe Biden is right about. He said this is a battle for the soul of our nation. That's true, it is. And the choice is clear. And the choice for our future is yours.